And welcome once again to Let's Talk Tresco. Gino Aragon here with you. And of course, if you're wondering what Tresco is, well, for over 54 years, Tresco has been providing professional and individualized services, supports, and opportunities to the people of any age with differing abilities for their families and the communities that they serve. Tresco currently provides services in 12 counties throughout New Mexico with their three main divisions: TOTS Early Intervention, Tresco's founding early intervention program in Diana and Sierra counties. Day One Home Visiting is a Parents as Teachers affiliate that partners with expecting families from parental age 5 and prenatal to age 5, that is. And Tresco Works, where they offer community employment opportunities to people with varying disabilities, including veterans and students through federal, state, and local contracts. Currently, they have over 50 contracts that provide quality custodial grounds and total facility management, HVAC, electrical, welding, plumbing services in 12 counties throughout New Mexico. And today's guest is very special because she's got a new job. And it's not Stacy. Nope. It happens to be Sylvia Washington. Sylvia, how are you doing today?
I'm good, and you?
I am doing well, and congratulations on your new position. I believe that the new position officially is CEO and president of Tresco.
Yes, that's correct.
And well, congratulations. So that means you've been in your position for how long? A week now?
A week, yes.
How's it going so far?
Well, I mean, I guess in the interim I was doing it for a little while, but officially a week, and it's going great so far, except for, like we were talking about earlier, everybody's getting sick, and I'm just getting over a sinus infection. So keep yourself safe and healthy, everybody.
Yeah, if you may notice that the environs don't quite look the same as they usually do, and that's because we are doing this remotely because you actually got a very busy schedule these days now. Actually, like you weren't busy before, but now with everything else, you are a busy person. And they actually sent me home from the studio saying, "You're sick. Get us out. We don't want you to make us sick anymore either." So that is one of those things where we just got to go ahead and do what we got to do to make sure that we can get things done. But Sylvia, it is great to go ahead and talk with you again. But one of the things that we want to talk about is the fact your little journey through Tresco, of course, because you started with Tresco 16 years ago. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. I was like 5 years old.
Oh, you're 5. Yeah, yeah, I would say that was about right. All right, you started at 5.
Yeah. But yes, I started 16 years ago at Tresco. I started as a family service coordinator, and that was in our TOTS early intervention program, which you mentioned a little bit earlier in our introduction. And so a family service coordinator is like a case manager, and I was working out of the Anthony, New Mexico office. And so I provided the case management services for the families that we served in TOTS in all of the southern area of Chaparral, Santa Teresa, Sunland Park, Vado, Mesquite, and Anthony itself, all of those little areas in the southern part of New Mexico. So that's how I started and came upon Tresco 16 years ago.
And how did your travel up the ladder go, from so to speak? So you start off as a coordinator, like you said, and where did you go from there?
So from there, they had two area managers that realized that service coordination needed some mentorship. So then from there, I had only been, I think, a family service coordinator for maybe about 6 months when they opened a position called the Family Service Coordinator 3. And so that was supposed to be a mentor type position to mentor the family service coordinators. And so I interviewed and got chosen for that position for the Anthony office to be the service coordinator 3 that would provide the mentorship to the other service coordinators. And mind you, I had only been there for 6 months, and there had been other service coordinators that had been there longer, but due to my ability to catch on and understand the standards and regs and the expectations of the job, I was able to move into that position. And I was in that position, I want to say maybe a year. I don't even think it was that long. We had some transition, and the area managers that were both there was an area manager in Anthony and there was an area manager in the Las Cruces office, and both of them moved on to other opportunities. And so those positions were open, and so I applied, and I was able to get the position for the Las Cruces area manager. And so the area manager for TOTS was the person that was in charge of all of the family service coordinators and all of the developmental specialists. So then I moved into that position. So
wow, I was going to say, you're moving up pretty quickly, really fast.
Yes. From there, I think I did that position a bit longer, 3 or 4 years. I was the area manager. Again, as life happens, we had a director of TOTS, and she moved to a state position in Albuquerque. And so then the director position was open, and I didn't have an interest in applying for it, and I didn't apply for it. And so they did do search, and they did find somebody. But in the interim, all of us that were supervisors had to kind of hold down the fort until the person that they had hired was going to be able to come on board with us. We ended up waiting for somebody for 6 months. And in that interim, I ended up doing a lot of the job of the director. So then at that point, at the 6 months where the person wasn't able to come on board with us, they were supposed to relocate. They decided not to relocate. That's when I decided I was already doing the job. I might as well get the title and the pay. So then I applied for the director position, and I became the director of TOTS in 2010 is when I became the director of TOTS. And during my tenure as director of TOTS is when we wrote and we received the program of Day One Home Visiting. So I'm actually one of the people that wrote for the Day One Home Visiting program that we provide services to now.
That is awesome. That is awesome. And then, of course, you stayed as the director of the Children's Services for a while. But then you got another promotion a few years later, and that was to a COO position, right?
Yes. So in 2018, I became the Chief Operating Officer. And essentially, the idea was we would have 3 chiefs. One chief is the CFO that does all the finances, the Chief Operating Officer, myself, which was all the day-to-day operations, and then of course the CEO that oversaw the 2 of us. And so I became the COO in 2018, and that's when I was the person in charge of overseeing children's services, because I had already been overseeing children's services, overseeing human resources, and overseeing our adult services that we had at the time.
Okay, so yeah, that was a big jump up right there for everything else, but eventually preparing you for where you are now and that position. And it sounds like that position, similarly to the children's director of children's services, because you were kind of doing the job anyway at the moment, right?
Yes, yes. Yeah, our previous CEO had gone on leave in August, and the board had put me in charge in the interim. And so from August until the end of October, I was the interim CEO, making decisions and continuing to move everybody forward with the programs and processes that they needed to move forward on. And then, the beginning of November is when I was offered the position to become the CEO, and then got my contract officially on the 22nd. So like you said, I've been officially the CEO for about a week now.
And to hear that story from where you you start up, basically up on the ground floor, you're coordinating right there and making home visits, right? And to be able to get up all the way up to this position that you are now, I mean, that's quite a journey to go ahead and get there. And I'm sure there's a lot of lessons learned throughout that journey. But what is it that you want to bring now that you're in that position to Tresco? What is it that you're looking forward to bringing out in everybody else?
So I think one of the big things, and this was something that the board spoke to me strongly about as well, is we don't really have a face of Tresco. And I want to make sure that in the community, we have a face that's Tresco, and that will be my face. We haven't really had that strongly since we had Pam Lillibridge as our CEO. That was a few years ago. And I would like to continue on that tradition. She was very involved in the community. She was well known in the community. A lot of different agencies and businesses did work and collaborations and engagement with Tresco, and I really want to focus on bringing that back and making that very strong, because Las Cruces is very much a community that's very tight-knit, and we all need to know each other and work with each other and know that we can call on each other when we need help with a grant or with an opportunity, and that's really one of the big focuses that I have. Internally, it's really just letting our directors do what they've got to do. We have excellent directors here at Tresco that know their job, they know what they're doing, they have a passion for the work, and I'm just gonna let them do what they gotta do. I'm gonna move out of their way. I'm gonna make sure that they have the support that they need, and they're gonna do what they gotta do.
Oh no, absolutely. The sign of a good manager is letting good people do good work, and if you let them do what they need to get done, then things are going to get done for sure. But I like the fact that you'd like to go out and get out in the community a little bit more, because I agree that when I hear about Tresco, or I used to hear about Tresco a lot, it was always basically from the Tresco Works program, and for a lot of the people were that were working with the program. But to have that face of Tresco, to have somebody out in the community like that, I think would be a really good thing, and just add to what Tresco is for the community.
Yes, definitely.
And of course, now that you're into this position right here, you're going to take some time off for the holidays, right?
Well, no. I took some time off in Thanksgiving and I got sick, so I think that's a bad idea. I think I just need to work.
I understand that one as well. Every time you go take a few days, over the Thanksgiving holidays. I think when I got sick too, because there's something going on for sure. But no, congratulations on the new position. It's really nice to see you get into that position. And of course, there's a lot of things going for Tresco these days. Anything that you can let us in on any new things happening with Tresco overall, or are we still working on things? Or actually, I've learned this in the past. You're always working on new things.
We are always working on new things. I think probably the biggest thing that I'm sure Stacy has already had lots of conversations with you about is we're getting ready to celebrate our 55 years in 2023, which we're so very excited about. One of our big kickoff events will be that we'll do a Greater Chamber Stir event in February to really kick that off. And throughout the entire year of 2023, our focus will be that we've been here 55 years and we plan to be here another 55 years. So that's really the big thing on the forefront, besides, like I mentioned to you, getting myself out there so everybody knows who Sylvia Washington is and who Tresco is. So that way we continue to move that momentum forward as well.
That is awesome. And of course, right now, you guys are also doing a nice little holiday. I don't know how to put it like that. Not a holiday drive or anything else like that, but you've got something that you do with the holidays that are going right now. And it is something that I guess you guys are having a little internal competition as well, because I know a few people that work there have already hit me up for something. But they have, and they're not shy about it either. But of course, we're talking about the idea that you can go ahead and, at this point in time, I think you guys are looking for donations for to help families get some Christmas presents for Christmas, right?
Yes, so that is something that we've been doing historically for years, as long as I've worked here at Tresco. The way it started was there was a motorcycle committee that they would do a motorcycle toy run, and it would happen every year. And it would start at the mall, and it would make its way in. For years, it was Dickerson's Barn, and then from Dickerson's Barn, it went from the mall to the convention center. And so it was, everybody that rode a motorcycle of any type was able to enter in by bringing a toy, and then they got, an afternoon of food and entertainment and different vendors and things to buy from. And so that was a huge fundraising opportunity, not only that Tresco was a recipient of, but a lot of other community agencies that also got toys from that motorcycle run. And I think it was right before COVID that it didn't get to continue to happen, but we've continued the efforts of our toy drive every year. And so, yes, there is friendly competition amongst people trying to get donations and toys to be brought in. And what we do with those toys is every single family in our TOTS program and in our Day One program, each of the children in the household under the age of 12 will receive a toy from the donations that we receive, whether monetary or toys that people donate to us. And so that is a huge drive that we're working on right now. We do go out to all of our business partners. We go out to, general community. We have people that will they've seen it in the bulletin and they'll just drop off a check, and that's awesome, or they'll drop off toys. And we are more than willing to take any of those types of donations. But yes, that is what we're busy with right now, getting ready for Christmas. So that way all of our children are guaranteed to at least have something to open on Christmas morning.
Well, I definitely wanted to go ahead and touch on that since we are on the first day of December. And time seems to get away from people, especially this time of year when you're dealing with the holidays and shopping and everything else. So the idea of making sure that they can get an opportunity to go ahead and donate. And of course, like you said, monetary donations are accepted as well as some of the toys. And probably the best way to go ahead and make those donations would be to probably stop by your offices on Copper Loop.
Yes, you can stop by our office on Copper Loop, and then we have our office on Nevada, which is where our children's services are housed. And so either one of our offices would be more than willing to take a donation or a toy donation.
Okay. And if they hear it on this podcast and they make that donation, does that go towards you, beating everybody else out in all the other departments?
They would never allow me to win the competition.
Oh, come on. That's got to count. If you're going to be the face of Tresco, that's got to count for something, right?
True.
Yeah.
So if they heard it here, then it goes to my credit. Yes.
There you go. I'm going to make sure that sticks for sure. No, I mean, and that is just one of the great things that Tresco does for the community, at large. A lot of times, like for me, whenever I heard of Tresco, it was always through the Tresco Works program. But as I've been able to go ahead and talk to a lot of your employees and a lot of people that you help out, that it's not just the Works program, but the Day One and the TOTS program, what you do for parents and children, basically from prenatal, all the way up until 5 years old. That is some amazing work that you do to get these kids to hit their milestones and help out not just the kids in general, but the entire family. And that always blows my mind when I think about that.
Yes. Yeah, it is very meaningful what we're able to do. And yes, the child is important, but they're only going to be as productive as their entire family. So yes, it is a whole family effort.
And that is one of the cool things about this holiday drive as well, is that it's not just the kids that are part of the program that get that. The kids and the whole family will get something the way that brings the whole family together.
Yes, definitely.
That is awesome. And is there anything else that you'd like to go ahead and let anybody know as far as what's going on with Tresco?
No, you nailed it. I just wanted to chime in there. Hi, everybody. We're just super excited for this new adventure and this new journey with Sylvia leading the way. Our mission is strong, it is stable, and we're continuing to grow and impact throughout the state of New Mexico. So I invite anybody out there. Our doors are open. We would love to sit with you. It's kind of the Sylvia Stacy community show. So we want to go out there and share our impact and share how you can get involved and how we can help be an extension of everyone's family, because we want everyone's future to be better and bright. So there's many opportunities for us to work together and to continue that effort.
I am looking forward to working with you guys. As like I said, every other week we get together and I learn a little bit more about what Tresco does and how everything works out together with you guys. And thanks to Stacy for being able to go ahead and work with all of our schedules to go ahead and try and get these things done. Because I know you're a busy person, yeah, and I'm always open. I'm cool. Yeah, and I look forward maybe to having you guys stop by the studio sometime and talking about a lot of things that are going on. Just in general, so that we can let everybody else know as well, not just for those that tune in here to Let's Talk Tresco. But, that being said, thanks a lot for taking a little bit of your time, Sylvia. I don't want to take up too much time because you are working and you've got to get the face out there to get all the toys in so that you can win in that little.
It's got to go.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you.
But thank you for taking the time out to go ahead and join us for today. And we look forward to talking to you again sometime in the future, maybe when you've got some more big projects or something else that you can want to make some announcements on. We can go ahead and get it on here on Let's Talk Tresco.
That sounds awesome. Yes, thank you.
All right, no problem. Thank you very much. And once again, that's going to do it for us. I think we'll be back for more weeks to go ahead and talk with someone else new. And we'll see you then on Let's Talk.